How any event is seen depends on a person's background, experience, political belief.
Animate actor.
We were in London's East End. There was a little girl...
Hang on, why have I got him again?
It's an example of someone affected by their experiences.
There was a little girl on the stairs screaming for help, saying that her father was killing himself. We hurried up and found that the poor fellow was trying to take his own life by running a fork into his throat. He seemed to have been reduced to this miserable state by lack of food. Now, 'tis my belief that anyone who sees the rights of the working people trampled on by the idle and useless ruling classes and does nothing might as well be holding that fork and driving it into that starving man's throat themselves.
So what did he do to change things?
William Lovett was a founder member of the Chartists.
Why Chartist?
Because they wrote a charter.
The 6 points of the People's Charter.
But if you want to investigate Chartism, you'll need to engage the 1832 Reform Act.
All right.
After huge popular demonstrations all over the country, Parliament was changed in 1832. The new industrial towns could elect their own MPs, and more people could vote.
Including working people?
Very few, I'm afraid.
Then I'm not interested. Reload Chartism.
Animate actor.
Our association called a public meeting to petition Parliament. We wanted a vote every year for every man, and no matter where he lived, and a fair method of voting. And we wanted MPs to be ordinary people earning a wage, not just property owners. Now, these were the 6 points of the People's Charter. Copies of it were sent to every working man's association and all reform associations in the kingdom. And they at once saw in it a plan to give all classes their rightful share in government. And in under a year, over 1 million people had signed.
Over 1 million people?
The first charter, presented to Parliament in 1839, had 1,300,000 signatures.
Text to visor.
The Chartists are the most tremendous association ever formed. In every mill, every factory, every workshop, Chartist workers are to be found. And this holy bonding of the people who have faith in their future grows greater and stronger with each day.
But what made people become Chartists?
Working people still didn't have the vote. They believed the vote would let them pass laws to solve all their different problems.
Like what?
Everything from low wages to unemployment. There'd been a series of laws that were seen as unfair, like the game laws against poachers and the poor laws that seemed to make poverty a crime.
Did the Chartists win?
No. Parliament rejected the petition. The Chartist leaders were divided. Some believed in moral force. They wanted working people to be seen acting peaceably and responsibly. That way, Parliament would think they deserved the vote. Others, like the fiery Fergus O'Connor, believed this was...
Moral force humbug. All your hurry and haste, your bluster and your menace can only lead to the destruction of Chartism. Every man has a right to a musket over his door. We don't need muskets. We need education, schools for the working people. Your preaching violence scares people. You're bringing suffering and persecution and death into our ranks. The soldiers started the carnage. We should muster our battalions now. You just want to be the people's leader. Fergus O'Connor, the great I am of radical politics.
What now?
Plenty more on Chartism.
Middle class response.
Those that had won the vote in 1832, but drew the line at votes for everyone. Or try the later petitions.
1842, petition. 1848, petition.
Presented and rejected.
Why?
Employment was picking up. Wages were getting better. Chartism was petering out. Or try.
Chartism, the successes.
Their meetings were great social events. What are you doing?
Weren't there any women Chartists?
Not much evidence, I'm afraid.
What's he doing here?
Select him.
The first draft of the People's Charter suggested that women should get the vote, but as several members thought that demand might hold back votes for men, it was unfortunately left out.
Typical.
We do know there were more than 100 women's Chartist groups. We've accounts of them marching, waving banners, and making speeches.
Can I hear one?
A certain Miss Rothwell, treasurer to the Power Loom Weavers Society.
Animate actor.
In addressing a meeting made up of hundreds of thinking men, I'm uncomfortably aware of being a woman, and know I run the risk of being outcast by society.
Just for making a speech?
Victorians didn't respect the views of women. When the radicals fought for the working class, they were fighting for working men.
Reanimate.
But the persecution me and my family have suffered has made me think. You see, if Mr. Trimble hadn't sacked me for attending a meeting of the Power Loom Weavers, I'd still be the unthinking slave of the Power Loom, without knowing why as a slave. While there's a drop of British blood in my veins, I'll strive to free my class. And we female workers in Bradford will be in the onward march to a fair day's wage for a fair day's work.